Hey guys, it's Coach Bricks, Coach James, and this is the Game Change. So we want to talk about this because we get this a lot. I guess because I think so naturally of how the human body functions, how it heals, how it does everything, that I'm always kind of baffled by people who do this. And this is people who put on braces, okay? We get a lot when people sprain an ankle and they wear walking boots, okay? Or now their ankle's supposed to be better, right? They're cleared to play, but they're still wearing ankle braces or ACLs, and they're still wearing an ACL brace. I wanted to ask you, I have tons of opinions on this, and I've been blasted by many people who sell these braces, have actually tried to call me out and stuff like that. So I have an opinion on that side. But I want to know what's your take on all this stuff with braces and all these kind of things that people have.
So I think my opinion has changed since I've kind of been more out of sports recently, and I haven't played maybe as much. I'd sprain an ankle, I'd wear my brace for who knows how long after I did because I didn't understand. Now I stay completely away from braces. I at least tell our athletes, we want to get you to the point you don't have to have that need of that brace or that sense of security, which is what that brace, or say I do an ankle tape, that's what it basically becomes for those athletes, that they feel they need to have that on. They don't feel that they can function or play at their highest level without that on. I know I've had people that have done different studies on ankle taping and things like that. Any kind of taping, it doesn't last. But then I think they said it was like 5 minutes. All that elasticity and that compression of keeping that joint or whatever it is taped in place is gone within the first 5 minutes. So that taping just really is just there to be there, and it's not really doing anything. So what we always do with our athletes is we give them all that stuff to come back from that first injury, and working on strengthening that area and telling them, this is so you don't have to rely on that, because that basically becomes a crutch that you're relying on those different braces, boots, whatever it is, to help you play when you don't need it at all.
Yeah, and you nailed it right. I try to get to the point where I try to understand people, and I understand why they do it, and it's a psychological thing mostly, okay? So if I tore up my knee, okay, and I got surgery, I'm coming back. My fear isn't so much that my knee's not gonna hold, okay? Because if you strengthen it right, and you do it properly, and a lot of people don't, unfortunately, because a lot of rehab is so cut short nowadays because of the insurance industry cutting things off. And then they're not going to get extra things because they get so-called cleared. I don't know what that means. 3 months in from an ACL surgery, they're cleared. They're relying on something artificial to make sure that they stay as natural as possible. So these braces, that's what they do. They suck you in a psychological part that I need it. Like Coach James says, I need it. Well, what do you need? You need to strengthen. You need to get your body resilient so it doesn't happen again. Could it happen again? You could always get hurt again. I'm not God, so I can't tell you. But if you strengthen it right, you do all the things properly, and you move right, and you do everything, the chances are slim, okay? You could say, hey, I've seen guys that are in braces, right, that have blown out their knees. How's that happen? Or people wear braces for their ankles, and they hurt their ankles. And then when they're out of them, because they're walking around, I know one person who wore ankle braces all the time, okay? And I try to tell them, listen, you're weakening everything in your ankle, your ligaments, all that kind of stuff, tendons, everything's getting weak, muscles. Nope. They were out walking, they stepped off a curb and rolled their ankle. Horribly, okay? It was absolutely atrocious. Because they never got to a point of strengthening it. The whole idea when you get hurt is you have to understand, my body's hurt. How do I level it up to where it was, but I even make it better than that? Because if I got it back to the point that what it was, then I'm still opening it up to injury. There's a reason why it broke, okay? A reason why I got hurt is because it wasn't where it needed to be. Couldn't handle the force. So I got to get it stronger than it was before. But people just get it back to a point and they think they're good. And they get cleared and they go. And then 3 months later, they stop doing the exercises, whoever gives them to them, and then they're broken again. And they can't figure it out why. Or something else breaks because they compensate, and that's a whole other story. But that's what it goes. So when we get these braces, especially with these walking boots, I'm actually baffled by why people would ever wear them, because every single time I see the kid or person who wears them, and the foot's turned like this, okay? So the toes are pointed out, because for some reason the brace doesn't keep it straight, it turns you out like this, right? And then they develop these Achilles issues because of how the brace keeps you in there. So then they have this soreness in their Achilles area. this brace was, oh, allow me to get from point A to point B. You'd be better off using crutches, in my honest opinion. Yeah, they're a pain in the rear end, but at least your foot would be able to move a little bit and not have to actually get in that conforted form. And actually, this study just came up. I showed it to my wife. That now they're saying, surprise, surprise, because we've been saying this for what, 20 years, at least, as long as you've been here, and I've been saying longer than that, is that it's better than now to put weight and stuff on broken bones and stuff in the legs, because that's how they heal faster. Movement. I've been saying that forever, that you need to move the body. The body responds, okay, to movement. That's what makes it get stronger and makes it become more resilient and heals it quicker. Movement. Now, you got to be smart with it. If I break my, tibia, fibia, anything here, I'm not going to go jumping around thinking it's going to get better. No, it's hurt. It's hurt. But what I would do is get down and I would move it. Okay, I'd move the leg to get blood flow to it. I wouldn't put in a brace to be like, hey, don't move it, immobilize it. It's idiotic how we think so backwards in our society of how we're supposed to heal. Because we don't understand the healing process. It goes back to this. So that's why people buy into this stuff. And then these companies are making billions upon, maybe even trillions nowadays, off these braces and all this kind of stuff. Take care of your body. If you needed all that stuff, God would have provided it for you. He would have put it on you as you came out. He is like, hey, here's the baby, here's a newborn, and has braces on its knees, on its thing. He did. Because he knew he made you strong enough, resilient enough. It's your job to make sure. And if you do get hurt, like we all do, a lot of us get hurt, okay, me included, figure out why you got hurt, and then make sure it never happens again. That's the key. That is the absolute #1 key. Because when I wear this stuff, it weakens my body, and it gives me a psychological thought that I'm invincible. Hey, I have the brace on, so I'm not going to get hurt. But it also weakens the body, because then the body's not stabilizing. It's not doing the things it was meant to do. So we're causing problems later on in life. And that's what we don't want. You shouldn't be 30, 40 years old having back pain, hip pain. Oh yeah, I ask people this all the time. I said, did you ever have an ankle issue? When I'm talking about their knee. They're like, yeah, man, I sprained my ankle a bunch of times. Wonder why your knee hurts then. Did you ever fix the ankle properly? Well, I went to rehab. I said, do you still do the exercise? No. You got to continue with that stuff. If you hurt yourself, there's a reason. I keep telling you, there's a reason you're hurting. You got to keep on it. You got to stay and maintain and continue to work to make it better than it was before. If you stop those exercises, a lot of times, guess what happens? You're not making it stronger. You're actually doing damage to it, doing weakness, and eventually it'll start to go back to where it was, and then we get to those injuries. So, me, personally, I'm 100% against it. I understand brace people come out. It's great when they need to get back and, they're not ready right away. But if they're not ready right away, then how can they get back? That's always my argument with it. If you just said they're not ready if they need a brace. They're not. I'm sorry, they're just not. You're not at capacity where you need to be. The body's not where it needs to be. So then you should play. Simple as that. Some people do take longer than others. But that's what blows my mind. I need a brace, I need an ankle tape, I need this to play, to move, to do these things. Why don't you fix the root cause of what's going on? And the best are people who come with the neoprene sleeves, right? They didn't have any injuries, but their knees hurt. So they put these things on, and I'm like, did you ever think of actually strengthening that? Well, no, my doctor said, it's whatever it is. I sprained it. Why did you sprain it? Oh, it just happened. No, it happened because you couldn't handle the force, so you're weak somewhere. So let's fix that. Oh, no, I can't do any of that. Because nobody wants to put the work in. The brace is easy. You slip the dang darn thing on, and guess what? You got it. Doesn't fix anything, just makes you feel better. And that's all it is, just making you feel better. It's not fixing it. It's like the Band-Aid. The Band-Aid doesn't heal the cut. The body heals the cut. The Band-Aid just protects it and makes you think that it's doing something. It's not, okay? So that's what the brace does. So we need to get out of this whole philosophy and this thought process of these things are actually doing us a great benefit. They're not, okay? You have to start thinking differently. Like I said, if I was gonna walk around and broke my leg, I would use crutches. I wouldn't use a walking boot. This doesn't make sense to me. Why I wanna put my foot in this position, turn it out, get back from an injury, okay, that I'm in, and then have to fix and rehab the injured area, but then also have to fix my walking pattern because it's all jacked up now. So I did a double whammy to it. Have it on the crutches or learn to walk on it, okay, when you're capable of it, and then that's when you move. Like I said, if I broke tibia and fibia and stuff like that, I'm not gonna walk on it right away, okay? But I'm gonna start moving it so I can heal much, much quicker. And there's other things you can do. There's certain nutrition you can do, certain things you can do to get better, but you gotta be willing to look it up, you gotta be willing to research, and you gotta be willing to take the time to do it, okay? When you get hurt, it's a sign that you need to get better, sign that you need to do more for whatever you're doing. Take that time that you have to sit there and understand your body better and understand what you need to do so you're never in that situation again. Exactly what I do all the time. That's all I do, constantly. If I start to feel something, okay, why did I feel it? Okay, boom, what do I need to do next? So, this is Coach Bricks.
Coach James.
Game changer.